Hey there, friends and family. Glad you are here. Yes, this is really happening. It's really me live. It's been so long since I've actually hit the go live button, but I told a friend earlier today, I'm going live tonight because I have something to say. And I think it's a great opportunity to come and hang out with you guys. So I'm just going to do a couple of things. I need to check technology because I just sometimes have trust issues. So I want to make sure that we're clicking on all cylinders because I am live streaming live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Visibility is Power TV on YouTube. Do me a favor and let me know if you're here live or in the replay. How do you know? You know you are live because you see a red button in the corner here that says live. If you don't see that, you are the replay audience. So either way, if you're here live, put hashtag live. As you all probably remember, I love to engage and interact with you. So please make sure to do that. And if you are in the replay audience, listen, there's love for you too. So make sure to hit put hashtag replay so that I know that you are here. I'm just making sure that we are still clicking and everything is okay. All right, we're good. Let me also just put on my do not disturb. I don't know why it's not working. And a friend is texting me and she knows I'm live. So I don't know what's happening. Awesome. I hope you all are having an amazing day. All right. So, hello to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube audience. I am glad that you are here. Again, checking comments. Let me know that you are here. So, drop a comment and I will pop your comment up on the screen so that way we can engage. As you can see from the title, we are talking about, okay, the theme around that your visibility is not humility, it is actually disobedience. It's going to be a good topic. So, I would encourage you to tag another friend, another leader into this conversation. Hit the share button, invite someone else into this conversation because it's going to be good. So, here's how we got here. First of all, it was my personal prayer time yesterday, but also we got here because I'm thinking about the fact that we are at the, I guess, more than the halfway mark when it comes to the new year. So we are at this time frame where we are. Hold on, guys. I got to put on my do not disturb because this is going to. Okay, now we are good. I just. Isn't it funny how you go live and then all of a sudden you're getting all the notifications? Ding, 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 ding. It's like a pinball. So that's going to like mess with me. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on the do not disturb. So consider that a little lesson when it comes to you creating video or you doing a live stream. Put on the do not disturb so that way you are not disturbed with all of the notifications and the things that are coming through. All right. So we are at the more than halfway mark of 2026. Anybody else agree that 2026 went by very fast? I cannot believe that we are already through July. We're going into August. The kids are already going back to school, especially if you're here in South Carolina. I know for my northern friends, you all don't go back to school to September, but we are about to head back to school. I am about to drop my oldest off to college. Yikes. So things are happening. And one of the things I was thinking about is this is a good time to do a check in, to do a pulse check when it comes to how you are showing up. And let's talk about this. Visibility really is bigger than you just posting content, bigger than you going viral with video. Listen, all of those things are great, but how are you really showing up? Right? What I've been learning in doing this visibility work, especially the work that I'm doing this year with clients, is that what we do in helping you understand the power of your presence, identity driven visibility, all of those things help in creating your visibility in online space. But what we are seeing is it's helping you in your life. This is why I always say that visibility is power, but it is an inside job, right? Inside out. We lead from the inside out. And so, right here in the comments, I just want you to let me know, When it comes to your visibility from January to the present, I want you to rate it. And there's no shame here. All right. This is a safe place. No one's judging you. I'm not judging you. But if you think about your level of showing up in your life, in your business, in your ministry, in the work that God has called you to do on a scale of one, really bad, or five, doing pretty good. I want you to put that number in the chat for me, okay? Right there in the comments, 1 to 5. I want you to really think about your visibility. Because here's the thing, we can't fix what we don't name. We can't fix what we don't assess and what we don't measure. And so when you think about the goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year, not a resolution, but goals when it concerns carrying, stewarding the work, the assignment that you've been given. How have you been doing? And here's the beautiful thing, God's mercies are new every morning. And so if you put in the comments that you are at a level 3, guess what? There's no shade because you can always start new tomorrow. And that is the whole hope and point of this conversation, that you know that guess what? All is not lost and you can start tomorrow. So let me know in the comments where you are. I think it's so important to have this conversation because while we're talking about this, what I want you to understand is that you were not given, you and I were not given a gift to bury it. You and I were given our gift, our talent, our abilities to multiply it. And that you hiding, you playing small isn't really humility, it's disobedience. I know it's going to get a little tough here, but I promise you, it's going to get better. I promise you, it's going to get better. This is a great time. If you're just getting here, this is a great opportunity for you to tag and let someone else know to join this live, because we have to confront this reoccurring conversation that I'm constantly having with leaders about humility, about playing small, about being invisible. Now, what I want you to understand is, and I've really been leaning into this conversation this year, latter part last year coming into this year, is that visibility is a responsibility. And a part of that responsibility is visibility is stewardship. Many of you are treating your visibility like ownership. You ready for this? Because when you treat your visibility like ownership, you can decide whenever you want to show up. I'm going to show up today. I'm not going to show up today. Maybe I'll do something tomorrow. You know what? I'll plan and do something next week. So you treat it like ownership because you treat it like you own it. Tawanda, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Whereas with stewardship, you are just basically, I wouldn't even say, I don't want to use the word babysitting because that really shrinks it down. When we talk about stewarding your visibility, what we're talking about is there was an owner that gave it to you because they believed they could trust you to multiply it. See, the difference between stewardship and ownership is when you take ownership of something, you're totally responsible for it. See, when you take ownership of your visibility, you're totally responsible for it going viral. You're totally responsible for funding it. You're totally responsible for grinding and hustling to get the people to watch your video, to get the people to respond to you. See, you're totally over it. You're responsible for it. But when you are a responsible steward over something, you understand at the end of the day, my responsibility is to be faithful over this, but there is a bigger owner to which this belongs to. Stewardship and ownership. We can go deeper into that in another time. But for the sake of the conversation today, I want you to understand that your visibility is stewardship. So how are you stewarding what you've been given? How are you doing that? Because oftentimes we have people who look at what they've been given, right? And they treat it poorly. They mismanage their visibility. They're not responsible for their visibility. And so, how do we come to this conversation about visibility being stewardship? It goes back to a familiar passage in the Bible. Now, let me go ahead and say this. If you're watching this live or in the replay and Jesus isn't your thing, the Bible isn't your thing, I would want to really encourage you to still stick around to this conversation, because I believe that even with the example that I'm using, which is scripture, that you can still find value in the conversation and in what I'm saying. I think you can still understand it. Even if you don't believe in the God that I believe in, even if you don't believe in Jesus, I think you can still learn and glean something from this conversation and still say, you know what? I may not believe in her God. I may not believe in Jesus, but I believe that there's a higher power and I believe there's an owner that's bigger than me. I can listen to this conversation. So, for the sake of this conversation, we're going to come from Matthew chapter 25, which the whole chapter is rich, but a particular part in here, we're talking about the parable of the talent. The parable of the talent. Matthew chapter 25. Dorothy, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Thanks to all you all who are watching over there on Visibility is Power TV on YouTube. Thank you to my Facebook friends who are here and those who are watching on LinkedIn. So, in the parable of the talent, I'm going to read it to you in one of these tabs that I have open. The part I really want you to pay attention to. Okay. Matthew chapter 25, we're going to start at verse 14. Again, this is a parable, which is an illustration, storytelling, wink, wink. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, talking about the kingdom of God, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one, he gave 5 bags of gold, to another, 2 bags, and to another, 1 bag, each according to his ability. I want to stop right there. So here we have a story of a master, an owner, who gave, I just want to use for the sake of our conversation, gave each one of his servants gold or talent or visibility according to their ability. Now, if this don't make you stick your chest out, I don't know what else to say, but this is going to help you here. That tells me right there that whatever Twanda, Dorothy, myself, whoever's watching this live and in the replay, that you and I have been entrusted with, the creator, the master trusted you with it. Let me say that again. Whatever you and I have been given, your talent to make people feel seen and heard, your ability to really break down complex topics for people to be able to understand, your ability to really help leaders hone in on their gifts, their talents, and their abilities, whatever your gifting is, that the creator, the owner, gave it to you according to your ability. That means whatever you've been entrusted with, the master already believes you can do something with it, because in the parable it said the master gave to one 5, one 2, and another 1 according to what? Their ability. That right there. That should make you go into the next day, the start of your week, whatever it is, understanding that no, I have been given much, I have been entrusted with much, because I can carry much. I can carry this because the owner gave it to me, because he trusts you with your visibility. He can trust you with it. I love it. Dorothy says she's here because she happened to randomly check her email and saw that I was live. I love it. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you're finding value. Do you see that? So right now, you need to stop looking at what's in your hand as, oh, this is so good, as a problem, and start looking at it as a promise. You need to stop looking at what's in your hand and valuing it differently and stewarding it differently. You need to look at what God has given you and say, man, this gift that God's given me, I have to give visibility to it, because he's entrusted me with much. And so that means I have to steward what has been given to me. And so here we have a situation as we continue to go through this, where the master leaves. I'm just going to do a summary here. And then he comes back. And we see what happens, that the man or person who was given the 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more. The person who was given 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who received 1 bag went off and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. How many of you are hiding your visibility? How many of you are burying your gift? See, your invisibility isn't humility, it's disobedience. Because what we see here is that when the master came back and saw that the other two multiplied the gift, come on, he rewarded them. So, what is it that we have to understand? The master didn't ask the third servant, why didn't you make me more money? He asked, why did you bury what I gave you? See, your visibility, my visibility, is never about us. It's not even a marketing assignment. Excuse me, a marketing strategy. It's an assignment. Right now, there is someone who is praying for the solution that you and I carry. Right now, there is someone who is in pain because you are still being the best kept secret. You are still trying to be humble when you're supposed to steward what you've been given. So playing small isn't safe as you think it is. Because in this parable of the talent, we see that the servant who received the one was called wicked and lazy. The other two took a risk. And they were rewarded because they took what was in their hand. They took what was given to them because the master already gave according to their ability. They took that, and what did they do? They multiplied it. I wonder if you have come to realize that you really were born the time you were born, because I believe that God already knew there will be problems in the earth that he's going to send Twanda and Dorothy and whoever's watching this live and in the replay to solve. But you can't solve it if you're still playing small. So you call it humility, this playing small, right? I don't want to think too big of myself, right? I don't want people to think X, Y, Z about me. I don't want people to say X, Y, and Z about me. Here's the thing about people. People are already talking about you, whether you do the thing or not. I always say, let's give them something to talk about. People are already talking. So give them something to talk about. So you call it humility, this thing of playing small, being safe. And what it really is, fear wearing a spiritual costume. See, what you have to understand is you're not protecting your gift by staying quiet. You're burying it in a field when no one benefits. Not you, not them, and not him. Every talent was given according to their ability. That means you are trusted with exactly what you can carry. Come on, someone put that in the comments. I was trusted with what I can carry. Whew, that'll make you go into a new week with your chest out, right? I was entrusted with what I can carry. You were. You were trusted with exactly what you can carry. So staying hidden says you don't trust what he trusted you with. Hmm? This will be a good time to go ahead and tag your business bestie, tag another leader, share them into this conversation, right? I have to trust the ability that was given to me by the one who is worthy of my trust. If you trusted me enough to give this to me, then I have to trust you enough that you know I can carry it. Trust. I remember when I first started showing up online about 2014, 2015. This was a big thing for me. I mean, I was so uncomfortable online because while you see me here having this conversation with you, listen, I didn't like my voice. I didn't like how I looked on camera. You can go on somewhere on this internet and find my beginning videos, and they were bad. I don't need you to tell me they're bad. I'm going to tell you they were bad. Bad videos. They were just terrible. And I was so uncomfortable. And I just remember one day having this conversation I'm having with you. And I just was saying to myself, if God is giving me this message, it's not a message I've created on my own. I wasn't sitting at home thinking about this message about visibility. This was something that was downloaded into me. Then, that must mean he trusts me to carry it out. See, when you understand that, you operate differently. Remember, I said that visibility is stewardship, not ownership, because when you own it, you're responsible for it. You're responsible for paying the fee, the fines, and all the things. But when you're a steward, you're in partnership with heaven, and heaven backs you. So when you understand that this thing is not all on me, but I am just to steward it, it takes off the pressure. And understanding that humility is an act between me and the Lord. So understanding that visibility is power. It is, but it's your visibility and his power. Stewardship is not self-promotion. It's refusing to let the assignment be buried or die with you. Listen, multiplication is the thing. God is into multiplication. And this is why visibility is stewardship, because you and I are going to be responsible with what and how we multiplied the life that was given to us. So the accountable question isn't how many followers do you have? It's really what did you do with what I gave you? There's the difference. Yeah, it's stewardship. And all of us have to ask this question: how have I been stewarding the visibility that was given to me? How am I showing up in the assignment that I know that I'm called to? How am I telling people that I am the answer to their problem, that I can help solve their problem? How am I stewarding the resources that are given to me? Money, time, talent, treasure. How am I stewarding those things? All of that falls in the line of understanding visibility is power. One of the things that we have really been leaning into is helping people understand that when it comes to stewarding your visibility, it really starts with understanding your identity. I can do a whole study on Matthew chapter 25, because one of the things that I think is very interesting when we see that it talks about that the servants were all given according to, they were given gold according to their talents and their abilities, right? And two multiplied and one buried. I would also say that was an identity issue. See, when you trust what was given to you, you look at your identity differently. When you understand what you carry, you look at yourself and your identity differently. And this is why a lot of times we have come to realize in the work that I'm doing that we have to do identity work first, because everything flows from your identity, right? Everything flows from that. And so if you've been sitting on the gift, right, and you know you're carrying something the world really needs, and you've been calling it humility instead of what it actually is, I want to leave you here with the next step. We started doing this visibility roadmap session, one session. And in that one session, we find out exactly where you're burying what you've been given. It's one win, that you can act on immediately. Because a lot of times, you don't even have the language for the gap that is happening in your life. So it's a session that we do via Zoom. It's an hour and it's an investment of 250. If that is something that you're interested in, I'd love for you to comment the word road map, and then my team will send you the link to that. Road map. Okay. This is where we discover what the gap is. Because remember what I said at the beginning when I had you rank where you are on the visibility 1 to 5. You cannot fix what we don't have a name for. We can't close the gap if we cannot first discover what the gap is. And then from that, we look at, okay, the next step is let's get into some identity work. And when we do that identity work, okay, when we do that identity work, then we take the credit from your roadmap session and we credit that to the identity session. And in the identity session, very powerful. We are looking at your identity. We're looking at how to package what you do, package your genius. Then we're looking at what price you need to put to that. And then we're looking at the platform where you need to be so people can start to see and experience you. But the first step is we have to name the gap. We have to understand that. And so if that is something that you're interested in, comment just like Twanda did, roadmap, and we will get that information and link to you. Remember, your visibility is power. It is, it is, it is. But visibility is stewardship. And we can no longer bury the gift. You being invisible is not humility. It's really rooted in arrogance. Because how dare you take what was given to you to multiply it, to make the world a better place and bury it? Not when the master has need of you and I. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Listen, make sure if you're watching this in the replay, drop roadmap if this is something that you're interested in. And also, do me a favor. If this resonated with you, tag someone else in the conversation so they can be a part of the dialogue. And if you're new to me here on YouTube, Visibility is Power TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you always get notification when we drop new content. You all have been absolutely amazing. No, thank you for being here and thank you for making the time. Remember, your visibility is power. But it's only power when you understand how to use it strategically and not just to make more noise in the world. We have enough of that. Remember, your visibility is power. You deserve to be seen, heard, and paid. Until next time.